Good afternoon, RhinoCats. It is Miss Mary Louise here, and welcome back to Language Tuesday, that time of the week where we explore written communication, or how we can talk to each other or express ourselves on paper. And last week we talked about synonyms and antonyms. And synonyms are words that have the same or similar meaning, like pretty and beautiful. They're two words that mean the same thing. And antonyms meaning words that are the opposite in meaning, like hot and cold. They mean the complete opposite of each other. And we talked about synonyms and antonyms and practiced using them and identifying them because being familiar with synonyms and antonyms can really help build our vocabulary. It can help us be a better reader. We can understand what we're reading more, and it can help us be a better writer. We can express ourselves more clearly, with more emotion, with more creativity, and engage more readers ourselves. So really important to know and be familiar with synonyms and antonyms. And this week, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to explore prefixes and suffixes, and these are things that you will come across in your reading and writing often. And being familiar with prefixes and suffixes is really going to help build your vocabulary, just like knowing synonyms and antonyms. It's going to help you be able to understand the meaning of words better, and it's going to help you be able to make better choices in your writing. So, what is a prefix? A prefix is just letters that are added to the beginning of a word that can totally change the meaning of a word when added to the beginning of a word. So some examples are re. Re is a prefix. It doesn't stand on its own, right? It's not a word on its own, but when we put it in front of a root word or a base word that can stand alone, like play, it's going to completely change the meaning of this word. So replay means you're going to play something again. Like if you replay a video, you're playing it for the second or third time, right? Another prefix, it means not. We have a lot of prefixes, you'll see, that mean not. So a good tip there if you're trying to figure out what the word means. If you put un in front of a base word like do, that's going to change the word. So undo means that you're going to take it back, or you're going to take it away, or you're going to not do it. The prefix pre, we hear it in the word prefix, right? Because a prefix is a word that's added to the beginning of a word to change its meaning. And pre just means before. So if you add pre to a word like view, it's going to change the meaning of the word. So preview is going to mean something that you view in advance, something that you view before something. So if you watch a preview at the movie theaters, you're going to be watching a trailer before your movie starts, right? Miss, another prefix, means wrong or not or don't. If you put it in front of a root word like understand, it's going to mean to not understand, right? If you misunderstand something, you didn't catch that, you were confused, you didn't hear it properly. So once again, a prefix can completely change the meaning of a word. If you understand something, you get it, right? But if you misunderstand, you don't. Dis, same thing, it means not. So does non. So dishonest, you're not honest, you're not telling the truth. Non-contact, you're not touching something, you're not making contact with it, like a non-contact sport. Prefixes, before. So letters in front of a word, they can't really stand on their own. They're not a word by itself, but when you put it in front of a word, changes its meaning and can help you understand the word if you're familiar with what the prefix means. Suffix are different from prefixes. Suffix comes at the end of a word, so not at the beginning, at the end. And it's going to give you more information about that root word, that base word. So for example, if you have full on the end of a word, like grateful. You are full of gratitude. Full meaning full of. Ly, Ly. This can describe how you do something. So if you're doing something slowly, that's explaining that that's how you're doing it. You're doing it slow. Less, if you have less at the end of a word, that's going to mean without. So if you are penniless, that means you don't have any money, you don't have any pennies, right? You're without that. If you're hopeless, you're without hope. So er at the end of a word, that's going to mean more. So bigger, that's going to mean like it's more big, right? Although we don't say that, we say bigger. Ness. If we have that on the end of the word, it's just meaning like a state of being, and that turns a word into a noun. So like kindness, playfulness. That's the state of being playful, the state of being kind. And finally, est is a suffix that means most. So if you have like best, you're the most good at something, or strongest, still going to mean you're the most strong. So prefix, letters in front of a word that change the meaning of the base word, and suffix, those are letters added to the end of a word that can change its meaning. And your job today, guys, your goal is just to complete sentences with the right suffix or with the right prefix, or to identify or to tell what the word means based on the prefix or suffix. And once again, these, or I don't know if I said this originally, but the prefixes and suffixes that I listed, these are the most common. So these are the ones we're going to see the most of. These are not all of the prefixes and suffixes that exist. But these will probably be the ones that you see on your IXL work. So you may come across a problem that says complete the sentence with the right suffix, with the proper ending to the word. So it says, I don't like days without sun, okay? And it's wanting you to change that and say, I don't like sun blank days. So it wants you to create the same meaning, but using a suffix. So days without sun, what means without basically? Is it less or is it full? Okay, so we know that less, if we look up here at our suffix chart, means without. And we know that our sentence says days without sun. So that's probably going to be our choice. If we look down at full, I don't like sun full days. That's, first of all, it doesn't really makes sense. I don't think sunful is a real word. I haven't heard that before, but also full, we know, means that you're full of. So I don't like sun full days. That would mean I don't like days full of sun. But less would be our correct option here, right? Less means without. So you would put less, you would click less. I don't like sun less days. Number 2, what does thankful mean? Does it mean without things or does it mean full of things? We know that full is a suffix that means full of. Like if you're grateful, you're full of gratitude. If you're hopeful, you're full of hope. So I know that thankful means that you're full of thanks. So I would click full of thanks, not without thanks. We know that would be, without would be like less. Thankless. Ugh. What does misbehave mean? We should all probably know the meaning of this anyways, but our options are behave poorly or behave before. So miss is our prefix there. Miss means wrong. So you're behaving wrongly. I know that that's the answer that makes the most sense. Behave before. I know that my prefix that means before is pre. So the word's not pre-behave, it's misbehave, right? So you would click on behave poorly. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. Little intro into prefixes, or letters that come at the beginning of a word to change its meaning, and suffixes, letters that come at the end of a word to change its meaning. Good luck doing your IXL activities. You can find in the description box under this video. Remember, this is really going to help us with our reading and writing skills. Good luck, guys.